April 7th, 2024. It's been a while. Welcome back, everyone, to Who's Corner, and wow, has it been a long time? I haven't looked at these illustrations since 2024. And yeah, this is one reason why I put Who's Corner in a deep hiatus. For the past year and a half, I've been in an art funk. Nothing got accomplished, and I blame myself with how I did Seasons of Fear. I absolutely hated the drawings, hated them. It got to the point that I almost completely scrapped the entire program. I just couldn't get back into my muse or inspiration. When 2025 came to an end, I made a decision to commit to recording and filming Embrace the Darkness, a Doctor Who drama that I have loved since the very beginning. Reminding myself that Outer Kingdom Productions wouldn't have been possible without Who's Corner, and the main reason I started here on YouTube was because of my passion for the Doctor. I know Soda Chat took off, and that takes a huge chunk of my time, and recording the readings for Halloween also takes away from my time to draw. But I'm starting to feel it again. By my calculations, we should have been well out of the Divergent universe, and we're not even with Zagreus yet. So here we are again. This is Who's Corner. Embrace the Darkness.
Zagreus at the end of days. Zagreus lies in other ways. Zagreus comes when time's amaze, and all of history is weeping.
Embrace the Darkness by Nicholas Briggs. Where do we start? Of course, we start with a crew of 3 deep within the Cimmerian system. The history of the Dark World, Cimmeria 4, is why these crew members are here. Halliard, Ferris, and their captain Orlenza are attacked by a sudden blinding pain within their eyes. It gets so bad that the light within their station completely shuts off. Each one hears a small voice within the darkness. Embrace the darkness. Orlenza gets a chance to send out a distress call just before power ceases. While Charlie rests in her room, the Doctor guides the TARDIS within the vortex and comes across a flotilla of Battle-Type 70s. The Time Lords are on high alert and are searching for the Doctor and Charlie. Though the Doctor kinda knows what the Armada is there for, he brushes it off by thinking that it's a celebration of Rassilon's Flag Day or a day of remembrance for Rassilon. Not wanting to get involved, he steers the TARDIS through the time stream, which causes the TARDIS to get bashed by the vortex winds. Charlie wakes up to scold him, and the Doctor tells her that the TARDIS is being difficult. Once they clear the winds, they enter into a strange, colorful system called Cimmeria. Charlie watches as the home star within the system glows bright. Then weird meteors or ships start ascending to Cimmeria 4. And then darkness. The star completely vanishes. The Doctor wonders if they might be able to solve the mystery, but something invisibly powerful seizes the TARDIS and drags it within a massive spaceship. Back at the base, the 3 crew members stir awake and can't face the darkness around them. Orlenza tells Ferris that whatever caused the pain took away the light. Halliard has gone completely insane, crying non-stop in the darkness, not knowing that his crewmates are nearby. Rossum, Rescue Operational Security Module, notes to his database that communications with Cimmeria 4 base has been silent. He makes a note that he has captured a lone vessel within the Cimmeria system. Not sure if this craft has caused the disruptions on Cimmeria 4, it proceeds with caution to investigate the TARDIS. Unfortunately for the Doctor and Charlie, once they step out of the TARDIS, they are immediately cut off from leaving. They meet the hulking rescue assault vehicle Rossum, and after introducing themselves and explaining that they've only come as investigators for the mystery of why the sun has vanished, Rossum gets alerted that one of the strangers presents a biohazard warning. It then goes after Charlie until the Doctor gets in between them, ordering that it rechecks its database, stating that Charlie poses no biohazard threat. When Rossum refuses to stand down, the Doctor scrambles the droid with the sonic screwdriver, allowing Charlie time to escape. Rossum recovers quickly, seizes the device and scans it. The droid now becomes immune to the sonic screwdriver. The Doctor tries to argue for Charlie, telling Rossum that he has important information concerning Charlie, and maybe he could aid the droid while he investigates the distress on Cimmeria 4. Meanwhile in the base, Poel Halliard has vanished into the darkness. Charlie can't navigate to the spaceship. She keeps running into Rossum's helper droids, and each one has a blaster in which to strike her down. The main Rosum unit informs the Doctor that even if he is of high-minded intelligence, it simply can't just give him classified information. The Doctor begs Rosum to let Charlie go, and he will give him highly important information. Rosum stands down, allows the Doctor to see Charlie on the monitor, and he tells the droid that Charlie comes from a time where humans had diseases and imperfections. They weren't a biohazard to each other. Rosum thinks it over, and then finds something that shocks the Doctor. Charlie has something unknown, and it is enough for the droid to continue to kill her, but Charlie escapes into a life pod and ventures down into the Cimmeria 4 base. Rosum, seeing defeat for now, asks the Doctor what he knows about Cimmeria 4. The Doctor replies by asking Rosum what distress signal was sent out. Rosum replies by telling the Doctor that strange unknown particles had infiltrated the base, cutting off all communications. The Doctor is worried about Charlie's safety. He tricks Rosum to venture down to the base, but the droid tells the Doctor that once it captures Charlie, it will kill her out of safety for the other crew members. When the life pod finally touches down into the base, Charlie opens up to see nothing but darkness. Only the light from the pod glows around the interior of the base. Charlie hears movement and sees Orlenza and Ferris heading towards her. Though they keep telling her that it's too dark to see anything, Charlie is confused and guides them to the pod with the sound of her voice. Once the crew is up close, Charlie gasps and informs the two that something or someone has taken their eyes. Ferris completely loses it and starts to cry. Orlenza orders him to shut up, or he'll lose his mind just like Haliod. Charlie asks what caused their eyes to be damaged, and Orlenza tells her that they don't know. It was beyond painful. Suddenly, Charlie feels that pain within her own eyes and starts to scream as the light around the pod flickers. On board the ship, Rosum informs the Doctor that he is trying to disperse the strange particles, but is having little effect. When the two land within the base, Rosum orders his other Rosum units to search for the missing crew members, and to take action against any hostile creatures causing the darkness. Rosum finally manages to disperse the particles, and the base's lights return, allowing the Doctor to slip away to search for Charlie. Along the way, he runs into Haliod, who is laughing his head off, saying to embrace the darkness. Soon, he comes across Orlenza and asks if a girl named Charlie crossed their path. Orlenza sadly informs him that she was suffering. They came for her eyes, the Cimmerians. Charlie, half blinded by the pain, stumbles around until she meets Haliod, who finds it hilarious that they have failed to steal her eyes, but they would in the end. He takes off when he hears the creeping sound of the Cimmerian. Charlie confronts the little creature and asks why it has stolen everyone's eyes. The Cimmerian is confused, not sure what she is talking about. It really wants to taste her eyes, and starts up the particle charge again, but is stopped by Rosum, who blasts the creature with a stunning beam. The Doctor comes in between them, ordering Rosum not to harm her. Rosum says that Charlie is now a protective witness to the creature lying at their feet. Stumbling around blindly, Haliod collapses and hears the other Cimmerians approaching him. They are just as confused with what eyes are, and say that they want to heal his pain. Haliod screams as they take him away. The Doctor and the others hear his screams. He immediately wants to go and search for him, but Rosum interjects and orders the Doctor to remain in the ship while his other units seek and recover Haliod. The Doctor protests until Rosum hints that the Doctor continues to misbehave, he would be killed. The Doctor then examines the little creature, noting that it looks like a child, but with one big problem. It has no eyes. Charlie tells him that the creature was confused about what eyes were. Orlenza is furious with the pair of them, saying that the little creature should be disposed of. Charlie, on the other hand, is convinced that her own eyesight is getting better. The Doctor tries to get Rosum's attention, but the droid is ignoring him. He then asks why would a crew of 3 come to a system with no light. Ferris explains that they were sent there to set up the EPUs, Energy Dispersal Units, a sort of artificial sun. The Doctor ponders about how and why the Cimmerians would see the light as a hazard to their species and go off to find Rosum with Charlie. When they find Rosum, it is in the battle with the Cimmerians. The particles are shutting down Rosum's units one by one. The main unit's control and memory functions have been scrambled, making him unable to recognize the Doctor or Charlie. The Doctor opens up a control panel and gives Rosum a reboot, giving the unit time to recover a bit. The Doctor orders Rosum to seal up the airlocks and vents, hopefully cutting off particle access. Rosum, still scrambled, does as he is told, The particles intensify and start breaking through the airlock doors. Rosm's units break down. It decides with advice from the Doctor to take off from Cimmeria 4 and hopefully escape from the particles. However, the particles have completely shut down the ship's power, making the crew's escape impossible. Once assuring that the ship can no longer take off, the Cimmerians awaken Haliod from his sleep and ask him to go to the base and convince the others to surrender. When the Doctor and Charlie return to the resting quarters, they find that the Cimmerian has escaped. Charlie informs them all that since her encounter with the little creature, that her eyesight has gotten better. She is convinced that it is better than it had been before. Orlenza and Ferris are confused to why a species would intentionally harm someone just to take away their sight, just to restore it later. The Doctor asks Ferris if he could restart the EPUs, and that if they could flood the world with light, the particles would cease. Ferris agrees and says that Roslin might not allow it, but in its current state, Roslin might not know if they are even there. Charlie and Orlenza head off to find the Cimmerian, something Orlenza isn't too thrilled about. As Roslin is slowly going mad, Haliod approaches the entrance to the base and demands that Roslin open the airlock doors and surrender to the Cimmerians. They have these creatures all wrong. They aren't going to harm them. Roslin is worried that such an action would lead to more particles invading the base. He cuts communication with Haliod. Charlie, thinking that the little creature is nearby, goes off to talk to it, leaving Orlenza alone. From out of the darkness, the Cimmerian approaches Orlenza, and the pain starts up once again. When Charlie returns, she finds Orlenza sitting on the ground, cradling the Cimmerian. Her eyes have been restored. The Doctor and Ferris have zero luck in restarting Roslin. They hear Haliod pounding on the doors, but communication with him is being blocked by Roslin. The Doctor takes control of the EPU's database and realigns them into a position with Ferris's help. Haliod demands louder that they surrender to the Cimmerians or they are all going to die. The Doctor initiates the countdown, unsure if this is even going to work. Charlie and Orlenza come into the control room to tell them of the great news, but unfortunately, after realizing that the Cimmerians are only keeping their planet dark because of an ancient enemy, the Doctor is unable to stop the firing of the electronic suns. The little Cimmerian fears that the Solarians will return to kill them all. The EPUs flare on, lighting up the system for the first time in 1,000 years. The particles vanished, Roslin returns to normal with a reboot, and scanners indicate that many alien ships are now approaching the Cimmerian system. The small Cimmerian, though very weakened, manages to use the last of its strength to heal Ferris's eyes, and the Doctor's heartbroken that the rest of the Cimmerians are going to suffer once the Solarians reach the planet. He scoops up the Cimmerian corpse and tells Charlie that he is going off to find the rest of the Cimmerians and hopefully have a way to save them. He asks Orlenza to get the ship ready for takeoff, using Roslim's energy cannons to destroy the EPUs, granting the Cimmerians back their darkness. Charlie is confused to why she isn't allowed to come, but the Doctor orders her to remain with the crew. Roslim, now getting his systems back up and running, refuses to allow the Doctor to leave the ship, and also refuses to allow Haliod to enter for fear that the Doctor will escape. Frustrated, the Doctor uses his sonic screwdriver to break out, allowing Haliod to enter. Before going, the Doctor asks that he take care of Charlie. When Haliod reunites with his friends, he informs Charlie that the Doctor wanted him to look after her. Charlie takes off after him without a word. The Doctor starts to call out to the Cimmerians, hoping that they will grant him an audience. Charlie catches up to him just as the Cimmerians summon them down through the floor and into their sanctuary. Roslin indicates the remaining time before the Solarians arrive. Orlenza won't leave without the Doctor or Charlie, and orders Haliod to fetch them back ASAP. The Cimmerians understand the mistakes the Doctor has made, and they apologize for their own actions to Charlie and the crew. It is their nature to heal and protect. They grant them a glimpse into their past by tasting the old memories. The past shows them that the Solarians and Cimmerians had a plague infect their species. The Solarians kept coming again and again to be healed until the Cimmerians started dying off in mass numbers. Out of desperation, the Cimmerians used their particles to take away the light of their home star, leaving the world in darkness. The Doctor asks if they will come with him, but they refuse, saying that even their life and history must come to an end, and that they have no ill will towards the Doctor. Once the Doctor, Charlie, and Haliod return to the ship, they take off. The Solarians surround them, opening fire at the ship. Orlenza orders Roslin to destroy the electronic suns, but he refuses. Orlenza, defeated, sends a message to the Solarians that they surrender. The Solarians invade their ship in massive tanks, ready to kill if provoked. One tank asks why they are trespassing on their planet. Charlie protests, saying that the planet belongs to the Cimmerians. When the tank goes silent, the crew hold their breaths. The tank opens, revealing a creature that greatly resembles the Cimmerians. The Solarian tells them that they have come looking for relics and would never have dreamed that there would still be people living in the darkness. The Solarians, after 1,000 years, understood their horrible crimes of the past and hoped to reconcile with their ancestors. Afterwards, Charlie plays drafts with Haliard and Ferris, and the Doctor wonders if the Cimmerians and Solarians will come to an understanding and not repeat their past. He then asks Charlie if she's ready to go. What's that smell? Is something cooking? It is our sacred history. I don't quite... Doctor? It looks like a boiling mud pie and smells like cooked roasted potatoes. Not exactly fragrant, I agree. Place it before them. This is your history. It is all that is left. As time passes, it diminishes. Since the end is near, you may drink of it with our blessings. Taste the past of our people. Taste? That seems to be their most important sense, Doctor. The one who died, he said he tasted the light. Somehow they store their history in a medium that can be read, or rather accessed by taste. Ingenious. I sense your fear, but it cannot harm you. Now we understand what you are. Well, here it goes. There are 2 spoons, Doctor. Pass one to me. There's no sense in both of us risking... I told you. I'm here to look after you. Pass it over. You all right? It tastes... What are those things? Sort of vehicle, I imagine. Miniature tanks.
Surrender! If you make one aggressive move, you will be killed. Is that understood? The question was not rhetorical.
Yes, understood. What happens now?
I want you to answer, you fools. Will you explain yourselves?
Well, I'm the Doctor, this is Charlie, and these are Alinza, Haliard, and Ferris. They are personnel of the base on the planet below. Charlie and I, well, we're travelers. We came here to find out what happened to the sun.
Why were you trespassing on our planet?
Your planet?
Do you dispute our ownership?
Yes. For Christ's sake, Charlie. Well, it isn't theirs, is it? She's got a point. Yes, but is this the time to argue? Have you seen the weaponry on that thing? Sorry, I take it back. Hello?
What makes you say it isn't our planet?
Well, because... Don't say anything, Charlie. They're just looking for an excuse to shoot you. Do they need one? Precisely.
Well?
Because we've met the people who lived there, who've lived there for centuries.
Centuries? Oh.
What's the matter with it? Yes, centuries.
In the dark? Centuries? With no light?
Yes, because of what you did to them with your plague or whatever it was. Oh, that's it. They're definitely gonna fry us. Thanks a lot, Charlie. Thanks a lot. They found a way of blocking out the light from their sun. It nearly destroyed themselves to do it, just to escape from the suffering your people put them through. Haven't you made them suffer enough? Why have you come back? Oh my God, the top of that is opening. I admire your courage, Doctor, but just what the hell have you let us in for? Shh. Oh my goodness. Remind you of anyone? You mean there are still people down there? Alive? Yes, people very much like yourselves. That is because we are the same. Or were. I cannot believe it. We were in search of relics, evidence of our lost civilization. Our people once much abused by my ancestors. Archaeologists. Charlie, don't you see they're not full of vengeance? Just curiosity.